parish is in a good place. My sense is that things are going well, and this is a relatively happy and healthy parish. We are also in a good place, geographically speaking. We have a good facility that is well taken care of. Compared to what Jesus had, we are extremely fortunate. As we read about in Mark's Gospel, Jesus is constantly on the move. He has no choice but to take his ministry on the road. If the good folks at his hometown synagogue had been more open to his ministry, perhaps he could have used Nazareth as his permanent headquarters. But that doesn't happen. I have often wondered what would have happened if Jesus had lived a relatively long life. Would he have eventually settled down in one place so people could make a pilgrimage to his home? Would he have had an office with his name up on the door? Would he have been like an aging musician who retires from touring around the world and gets a permanent gig in Las Vegas? Where would that have been? Jerusalem? Rome? Would he have become the first pope in Rome? What would his movement have become? We will never know. In contrast to Jesus' 3-year ministry on the go, we have a place to call home. Because of that, our MO is to invite people to come in here in order to hear the good news of Jesus Christ and to learn how to practice the faith. I almost feel guilty when I remember that Jesus spent his brief ministry as an unsettled Messiah, going from place to place with nowhere to lie his head, which he gladly did because he was building a movement. Let's reflect on the word movement for just a moment. Movement implies something is unsettled. It is in motion. For good or ill, it is growing, changing, evolving, progressing, etc. This is what movements do. Good results are not guaranteed. Movements are difficult to get off the ground. Think about what Jesus and his first disciples had to endure. If they wanted to rest from their ministry, they had to find a deserted place, which rarely worked. It really worked out for them because the people were always seeking to find Jesus. As Mark writes, they are coming and going in great numbers, and the disciples have no opportunity to even eat. They resort to getting away in a boat, thinking that this will do the trick, but too many people see where they are going and hoof it around to the Sea of Galilee, joining with even more people and encountering Jesus and his disciples as they get off the boat. There is no overtime pay for people in this movement. The disciples seem annoyed by all of this, but Jesus knows how important that this movement is. He's not annoyed, rather, he is moved with pity for them, and he begins to see them as people who simply need a shepherd. This is religion as a movement. It is powerful and purposeful. And even though movements usually occur at the beginning, the task of the faithful today is to recapture a movement spirit. So here's an image worth considering. Movement religion is the front foot of the spirit. Movement religion is the forward foot. It is the energy, the innovation, the creativity of the church now in the 21st century. But we are also most familiar with the other foot, the back foot of the Spirit, the foot that brings stability, tradition, and respectability. The back foot of the Spirit is the institutional church, which can also be powerful and purposeful. To call this the back foot of the Spirit sounds disrespectful, but I suggest that both feet are needed for balance. We need our faith to have a solid foundation. We need our faith to go forward. We need a place to be, and we need a place to go. The back foot is easy for us to consider. We know that foot so very well. So I turn to the front foot of the Spirit and I ask, how do we, in the 21st century, recreate the energy, the innovation, and the creativity of the Jesus movement in the first century? Because we are a parish that enjoys four walls, can the Spirit pierce through the plaster and breeze past the barriers as it did on the day of Pentecost? Can God's unconditional grace operate in this air-conditioned space? Let us depart today with one foot firmly planted in the historic church and one foot extended in love